Well, hmm, hmm, hmm. It ought to be interesting this morning. Good morning. Welcome to Saturday Morning Runnings, coming to you live from inside the zone with the Lady D, Denise Gomez, and the crew, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. Welcome to another exciting feature of the program where we talk about our traditions and cultures, memories of our childhood, and boats of laughter. This morning's topic: Saturday morning runnings, school are open. As the summer holidays close, the back to school exercise for the September term is full in gear. Parents and children are hustling and bustling in major town squares, shopping for shoes, knapsacks, backpacks, whatever, uniforms, and other paraphernalia. As for the washout, that was a whole nother preparation exercise on its own, and we'll get back to you on that. As we look back, those days were fun, but not so much for children whose academic performance was below the acceptable grade level, which meant they were held back a year while their friends moved to the next grade. While new students were and are anxious, old students were and are eager to see their friends. So, as Saturday morning runnings, come make we talk about school are open now. Joining me this morning are Jackie Brainbox Tyson, Shanette McNutt Brown is coming in shortly, Maxine Max Point Lyons, and Jennifer Douglas will be joining us in a few. Can I tell you, just as I said, my crystal ball works like a charm. So, who is just popped in here now? Yes, sir. Sharon.
She always
Morning,
a come to school
ladies.
late. She always a come to
Good
school late.
morning.
Good morning.
I must say her new shoes where she get from foreign.
Oh, dear Lord.
Make you happy for me already.
And of course,
Because
they
you
have
never wait.
I will
Me
not.
did I wait for you. Couldn't come down the gully fast enough.
Well, the principal has to step in here. I am Principal Gomez. We will have
Good
order
morning,
in this school.
principal.
If
Good
you have
morning,
been
principal.
transferred from another school, you will
Yes,
have to
principal.
adhere to the
Yes,
rules of the school in terms
yes,
of
yes, ma'am.
discipline,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
nobody can no bad habit come at this school.
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
So, good
Please,
morning.
please don't tell me granny, please.
Morning, ladies. Another Saturday. Here we are. How to do,
yes,
how to
morning,
do.
morning.
We
We
Good
there, we
morning,
alright.
there, we are.
Principal Gomez. Good morning.
I am not sure if there is a student here in my class who they did not either get their uniform in time because they appear to be a grown up in this class. I'd like to take you to my office right away.
Oh Lord.
Spanish
Please,
Town,
please, miss.
teacher, I
Please,
go beat
please,
your
We
miss.
way,
know.
go
Me,
state.
please,
You
miss.
know,
Me
Spanish Town.
granny say, fi tell you say, that say, the post missus say, the package out there and somebody fi come feed later, ma'am.
Oh,
Principal
and
Gomez, I lie.
I don't lie. I don't lie. I don't lie.
so
Cause me did run behind the truck. Me did run behind the truck when the barrel them a come up the hill. Yes, Principal Gomez, I lie. She a tell.
yes,
It a come from England. Galang Jack, you too bad mind.
so I'd like some representation here this morning. Max, you're representing.
I am representing Pomera High School, where this is where I'm going to be graduating from. And these are the books that we use in school at Pomera High School. I have my Webster's Dictionary. My grandmother couldn't get the small ones, so she had to buy the big one, even though it's very heavy to carry.
What a weird crate.
And then I have me the English language paper because I'll be doing my exam soon. So I have to get the English language paper so I can practice
Yes,
She
composition,
bread
writing,
so.
and the pressing and all those things. And of
yes.
course, I have my literature book called Far from the Madding Crowd. So I have to go
Oh,
do some literature too.
Oh,
okay.
look.
Well,
And this, and,
and
and
could I
this is
see
the
the
uniform.
uniform, please? Step back, step back.
This is my uniform. I have on white blouse with black
What's your
flat tie to match.
Yes, very well. I would like to
That's the
meet with
uniform.
your grandmother at the end of today's school. I think you'll be going very far.
Very.
And
you
um,
want to go far too? You
and
want
this
to go
little
far
girl
too?
who from she come into the class this morning, Miss Tomlinson, do you know this child? Because she has been talking all morning and she seems to be one of those little telltales. What is your name, little girl?
My name is not Telltale, miss. My name is Jacqueline Francis.
And where you come from, Jacqueline Francis?
They transfer me here, miss, because them say me bright, bright. And me come from one school named Freehill, up in a one country part of St. Anne named Freehill. The school
Okay.
is Freehill All Age School. And then them transfer me to Oldbury All Age School. And them say me can pass from there to go to
Okay.
St. Hilda's.
Would that
Yes.
be Woodbury with a W or an H?
No, miss, I can spell it. It's Hoolebury, Hoolbury All Age School.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay. So
she
But them
look
say
like
the
a
teacher, them say the
troublemaker to
principal, them
me.
must bright, bright to be
She
principal.
look like
But you
a
look at me brighter
troublemaker
than the
to me.
principal. Oh,
She a eat
oh,
chewing gum. She a eat chewing gum.
there'll be no gummy eating in the class.
Bae,
oh. Sorry, miss.
bae.
Sorry,
Okay.
mom. Sorry, miss. Sorry, teacher. Please don't tell
And
my grandmother.
aren't you sitting at a desk? Do you not have a space to place your books? Why are the books in your hands?
Because my grandmother said I must hold on to them tight. Because she don't want nobody thief them.
And those books looks like senior grade books. What are those books?
I don't know, teacher.
I must because
She,
she bright, bright.
then she
Bright,
just
bright,
give me
bright,
some
yeah, bright
books.
book.
I said the teacher will appreciate it because I know these books.
Oh, you can actually read them.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well,
Yes,
welcome
miss.
to the
Oh, me
everything
put
that
them
does
down
not
here,
go
so
school. This
yes,
is the
ma'am.
everything that does not go school. My name is
Oh, so
Principal Gomez.
see my uniform here, teacher.
Okay, very appropriate. Thank you.
Thanks.
I think
And
the tie is
what
too long, miss. I think that tie is too long.
and what is that on your back? What is that around your shoulder here?
Oh, I'm a knapsack. It's my
Um,
knapsack, and I have the other book them in there, teacher.
so Jacqueline,
A
could you
knapsack.
please, you
Yes,
will not
ma'am.
be able to sit in the class
Oh,
for the entire session with that on your back. You'll have to take it off. But we will deal with that later. And
yes, yes, ma'am.
this lady here, did they send you to the wrong school this morning, ma'am?
Oh me?
Yes.
No, me I want plain clothes because the pass will take long to reach. Tomorrow me will have the right clothes.
Did your
Oh,
postmistress
sir,
hold on to the package?
I cannot manage on that.
No, ma'am, but it a come from England, so she says stamp the there see.
Hey,
It reached late.
so it was delayed.
Hi.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
sir.
Well,
It's not my fault. A granny may I grow with so granny not so able, so she have to get help.
as you know, here at where anything does not go school, you'll have to have your hair adorned properly to meet the requirements of the school. You are a child. We do not have wearing of wigs here.
Uh, a person can't burn off the front, so until it grow back, me have to cover it, cause the people are gonna laugh after me.
Lord have mercy.
Lord
No, Father,
Jesus.
help me, Jesus.
So we'd like
Lord,
to
help me,
welcome.
Jesus.
So I'd like to welcome everyone this morning in an attempt to get to my desk on time. I had plugged in or I filled my electric kettle with some water to make my tea. And in my attempt to send out, the blast about our school commencing this morning, I ran to my telephone and did a quick video. And so I went back into the kitchen, took up the kettle, and poured the water. And then I felt the cup. I said I felt no heat.
Cold tea.
As a result, the kettle
The
wasn't
kettle mashing.
actually, it's
Turned
plugged
on.
in, but I didn't turn it on.
Oh, what a Cersei. What a Cersei.
No, I see. I see.
That is tea.
So I had to quickly put the cup into, thank God for microwave.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my
So
goodness.
anyway,
I can't
welcome
believe it.
everyone. It is school are open this morning, and as you know, September come Monday. Some schools have already made their transitions, but there are schools that will officially be opened between Monday and Tuesday. Now, as host and my students online, we are Jamaicans and we know that we go back to school in September. I remember when I went to Chapelton Primary and Miss Yours was teaching us a little bit about language. She was teaching us about Spanish. So she wrote, in Spanish, septiembre on the board, but we don't know nothing about rolling up R and so on. So, oh, so.
Boy.
So we just read. She said, all right, class. Miss Yours was an awesome teacher. She lived in Chapelton. She said, so this guy named Wayne in my class, hear him. She not even start to say, help us with the pronunciation yet.
Yeah,
Him
look
just
in the
jump up. I know, miss. I know, miss. So she said, what you know? So we all look round at him. Hear him now. I know how to pronounce. I know how to pronounce. She said, all right, go ahead. Hear him now. September.
Im put in your syllables. No,
For Miss Yours, she had to collect herself.
Him a the bright sparks, man.
yes.
And then you call bright sparks.
In the
She
two
had to
bright.
collect herself.
Wanna see how my grandmother powder me up, Charlotte?
Me see it up on your next section there.
Yes.
She know why you get no heat rash. Max, me love your uniform though.
Yeah, Max, uniform looking good.
Max, new uniform.
Yeah, uniform.
Uniform. Look, it happened. So we have been looking forward to discussing this topic because we know what the preparations entail.
Yes.
Right? We're getting ready for school. And as I see here in the US, New York, people are out shopping with their children, but I'm like, it's not the same. No, we live a foreign. It's
Yeah,
not the
different.
same. There was just
Well, you know what? I was driving to New Rochelle yesterday, and little bit off Main Street, there's a store, and I'm telling you, the line was so long because these are, I guess, those students are going to private school, so they have uniform.
Mm-hmm.
So for those people whose children are in private school, it's a different experience from public school children, where you have to go to the mall and buy the latest gear, Old Navy and the Gap, JC Penney and all those stores come into play. So that's a whole different scenario from back in our day.
Yes.
As on our day, the matter of fact, when I was in Jamaica, people were buying up material, buttons and various zippers and I make uniform. But here, you gone back in your latest kicks
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we never
Exactly.
had that.
So you know how we do the crew. We have to acknowledge our guests because without
Yes.
we don't have no show. We would just be
No.
talking to one another. So
Yes.
let's hop on over and welcome Marine Happy Goldborn. Morning Happy. Good
I'm
to see you.
Maureen.
Morning,
Please,
Maureen.
Morning.
I'd like everybody who you're watching to just type in your primary school, your secondary school, your high school, and your tertiary. You know, if you go as high as we will take it. It's called back to
I'm still
school.
school.
I still school.
Right.
Good morning, happy morning to Vero. Morning, Vero. Good to see you. And we girl Herman is here. You know, morning teacher,
Hey,
morning.
Herman.
Morning, Miss Ermin.
Morning, Herman.
Yes. Then who else is here? Charles is here. Good morning, student.
Andrea.
Andrea is here. For whatever happened, she was laughing. We don't know which one of the joke, but we'll take it.
I must see powder upon my neck, sir.
And I'm going to ask all my viewers. The plan is to get the platform to 1,000 views. It has been climbing, but not fast enough. There are things that I would like to do, and so I'm asking you to share the link with someone you know. And when you share it, just ask them to subscribe. They don't have to pay any money. I like to
Free.
put that in there because people hear subscribe, they hear money.
And
So
your money.
please
Mhm.
ask them to subscribe for me so I can get to 1,000 and then the platform can kick off. Okay? We like really kick off to a greater level. So good morning once again. It's school are open and we are going to get into a great discussion because there's just too much to talk about every time we think about going back to school. So,
Brenda, who's Brenda? Good morning,
that's
Brenda.
so morning again, student Maxine.
Yes. Good morning, teacher.
Good morning. So I realized that you have your books, but I didn't see a knapsack or a bag to put them in.
Okay, well, the one that I was carrying last year, teacher, it tear up. And my
And
granny said she don't have the money to buy it, so maybe can book in and until she can afford to buy a new bag.
Maxine,
But she said she might make a spring bag for me. Out of piece of cloth what she have.
okay. All right. So we understand that there are some parents that have, challenges. So I'll have a talk with your grandmother. Okay?
Okay.
Might I jump in here, teacher?
Yes, ma'am.
As they say, make a spring bag, Maxine. I had an experience back in the day when knapsack just came in. Because knapsack now is a,
Yeah.
knapsack. Everybody have backpack and all. Back
Mhm.
in the day when it just come in. 'Cause I remember we used to get them little shoulder bags.
Mm-hmm.
And when knapsack came in, I wanted one so bad. And my father promised to get me one, promised to get me one. And so my mother, well, my parents had divorced, umpteen years. I mean, like literally, by the time I got to that age, they were divorced long time. But anyway, so my mother would have gotten me one, but because he said he's gonna get me one, she never, put the effort into getting that. So when we did the Kingston, no one dead and almost I go back and movie and no one. So where the bag? I think it must have been like the day before. So there was no turnaround time. And my mother, confronted him. I'm like, where's the bag for the child? Yada yada. It was like, Lord, I forget what her excuse. And then he was a very industrious type of person. And let me tell you, this man make me a bag, you see.
I
Mhm.
I mean, if it was no, honestly, that bag would have been all the rave. Honestly, because that, like now you're talking about repurposing things and this was something else, but now it's turned into this.
Yes.
And now we acknowledge that and we big up them things there. Back in them days, no, it never cut no dash. I mean, I tell you, say,
cut the
I
dash.
was a laughing, hey,
Gosh.
because he made the bag, and then my father was very Afrocentric,
Mhm.
very
Mhm.
very Afrocentric, and he made the bag, and then the clasp for the bag was a coconut shell, sister. Or should I say sisters? It's a coconut shell where him shape down and him shine it up and varnish and make it. So if it was now, it would be selling in the
Yes.
stores like a
Yes.
lot of money.
Right.
But back then, me dear, me never appreciate it,
Yeah,
and
love
neither
is that.
did the children. And them laugh at me for weeks until my mother bought me one. For
Oh,
weeks.
and you see
Yeah.
what you see what's happening now, though. All
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
creativity coming out.
Yes.
Right.
Because my grandma used
Yeah.
to make spank bag all the time. I don't remember back then. The only school bag I can recall that was nice and fancy for me was a school bag that my uncle in Kingston bought me. It had compartment. It looked like a little it looked like a lunch van shape, like it was purple, never forget, with writing on the outside, school bag. And it had a
Yeah.
part to put my books and a part where I could put my lunch. I'm telling you, nobody in Bossy like me. That was the only official school bag I ever get. All my other school bags after that were made by my grandmother. We call them
Mine
spank
too.
bags. They make out of cloth, you put it on your shoulder, yeah, spank.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the two little handles, the one with a simple bag with two little handles that you hold like this. I
Yeah.
never had a
I
backpack
put it on your shoulder,
or a
yeah.
knapsack until I started going to high school. We never carry me have to carry. My grandmother used the scrap cloth. Then when she finished, make some of the
Yeah.
clothes, or she saved the cloth and make what they call a sling bag now.
Yeah, like a
the
patchwork,
cross
like a
bag.
patchwork jacket. Yeah.
Yeah, and it cross the long.
The cross
My
body
grandmother
bag.
made
Yeah,
that for me. For us.
yeah.
Well,
That's a thing now.
Never had
I
it
can
fancy.
say I've always had regular school bag, and
Very
and, and no man, and they're nothing but rich. But that's
And
just
because you're good looking, lady, D, because you're good looking Pitney get taken care of.
Yeah, the never stop school. This was the thing.
We never pretty and we have dry head.
You be cute.
No, so we never pretty and we have dry head. My grandmother they have to use thread.
you can't
You ever
do
see
it.
Anansi Webb?
Remember, Jackie?
No,
Remember?
honestly, lady did. She have to
Yeah.
catch this little piece, wrap the thread around the root, and then come here. So it's like a network going all the way around. Because my hair was short, it was teeny like this. So it was a network around my
That's where
head.
network came from. That's where networking came from.
What them call it now?
No, it's a jacket.
Crochet. That was crochet here.
Yes, that was the unofficial. We never even know about it. That was how my hair. She had to comb my hair. I see, look at something them peep up in the ear. So because my hair was short, it was light, but it was short.
Ratty here.
Rat titty. All right, there you go.
Yeah, but for me, I had regular school bag. If it was a knapsack, then it was one of those nice school bag. So no, me never had school bag problems. And my grandmother would ensure that either Mummy Dell or somebody carry us go shopping. If we're not, so most of the time we get the shoes from out of Mr. Jackson, Mr. and Mrs. Jackson's store in Chapelton. If it's not that, then it is out in Maypen. And we would go shopping. We get a uniform and everything like that. I never had no challenges like some people did,
Yes, like
having
me.
to be suited out for school.
Like me.
I never had that. Yeah, so
I wasn't sorry.
to some of those things. I tell you that I had shoes. It's just that sometimes when I wanted to fit in with the other children, I chose
wear it.
not to wear any, which me couldn't officially leave out of the house without shoes on my foot. But when me reached the school,
Yeah, that carry.
me would take it off. Right?
Aye.
So some of those things that I saw other children experiencing, I truthfully did not. But you guys who have had, those experiences.
Oh yeah, true
why
experiences.
I love the fact that we are, really doing this show together because it strikes a good balance.
Yes, that's true.
And people
But
can
my situation was different when it came to shopping for school. So this is how it went for me. In my very young years in primary school. I was not taken for school shopping. My parents or grandmother would go to the store, buy the fabric for my uniform and to make the blouse and the tunic itself. And as for the shoes part, they would have get a cardboard and put your foot on it and then mark out the cardboard.
Yeah.
And they can afford bus fare for you and them to go shop. So they mark out your foot on a piece of cardboard and take it to the store. And they measure it on the shoes bottom or put it inside the shoes, and that's how your shoes will be purchased.
Yep.
I didn't go with them to shop. Maybe later on in high school that would happen, but in the early years, I didn't go shopping with them for no uniform.
Yeah, me too.
And of course, actually, she would make me a spank bag because there was no official bag purchasing going on. But what I normally do back then, I would save money, like when my cousins and so on, our uncle came around from Kingston or wherever, they'd give you 10 cents and 5 cents. I used to save it to buy my own school bag and to buy a school book, pen and pencil, crayons, and all these things. So my grandmother would go to
Kingston. Why you did industrious, Max?
Yes, I would save every cent I get and give it to my grandmother and say, tell her what to buy for me, and she would buy them for me in Kingston when she goes to grade.
Nice.
But that was how I grew up. Hi, Jess.
Girl.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Jennifer.
So,
Jackie, Jackie, go back to school.
And so you and Charlotte show up here out of uniform. I had to reprimand her. I know you come looking like you're a teacher or a principal. I will have to report to my office.
Eat the money, teacher. Eat the money. What should it use by the uniform?
My office, what right now.
Miss Lady D, I have a student in my class right now. He don't want to be no student. Him 7-year-old and him don't want to be no student because every time I ask him to do something, it's like, why do I have to do it? And really, and him coming like him to wear the jacket and the tie and come to school, come run school. You understand me? So me never take that the post there. Me want to run school.
So me that job.
Not the bad girl.
Oh, you are the bad girl. But take over the class and teacher take a break.
Yes. And take over.
Oh my goodness.
Take over.
You remember the little skit? You remember the little speech one we played the other day with the little girl?
Yes, I see that.
There you go. So,
me does hold me and me Kimbo. Me does Kimbo so I say, how are you attack? How are you attack?
Yeah, right.
Maxine, you dress up in a school uniform too.
You know, see me?
Look at Jennifer, see my knapsack.
The knapsack you to wear in a year time. A slater, and you wrap the belt, the book round the belt. The belt on the book and carry to school.
Yes, Jennifer, true.
A piece of string and your panty tie up with string and everything tie up with string. Let me tell you something. When you go like son of the day in front of the cover of the school.
Jennifer, remember say Jackie younger than we, you know, so we never did have no. We never have no book of everyone because you're straight leave back at school.
Pause. Who younger than who?
No, me.
You younger than the whole of we.
Me younger than the whole of you.
Okay.
Teacher, I think you need to intervene in this discussion.
I'm about to. This is school. This is not about age range. I would like this conversation.
Because she didn't get left back. She didn't get left back. At 2 times now she had to the same class.
She not stop eating lunch money. She eat her name on a bulla.
No, but you know, when, as you said, so all right, so let's rein back in, hold the thought, because yes, we're going to talk about children who were left behind and stuff. But Max, you were in the throes before Unruly Jen came in. What were you saying again? Because we all lose the trend of thought.
Yes, so of course I mentioned the fact that I wasn't taken for shopping, you know, back then. My grandmother would go out and do all the shopping. She'd mark up on a piece of cardboard and take to the store, and that's how they'd buy your shoes. You didn't go with them to fit on our shoes. The shoes come. If it's too big, then stuff it. And if it's too tight, then stretch it. Okay.
Lord.
And of course,
Yes.
and they'd buy the uniform material just enough. Then I buy no extra for nothing. So if you gain weight, you're in trouble. They'd buy just enough fabric and they would send you with the fabric to the dressmaker. You have to walk out Oiwa, wherever far the dressmaker is, and the dressmaker would measure you and make a uniform. And back then it was tubalcra, as we know it called. It was gabardine and fancy. It's the one the fabric that you had to starch. So when you get that new uniform from the dressmaker, you have to rinse it out and then starch it. And
Starch it.
The grandmother would starch it and press it. Yes.
Yes.
Then knock off some.
Yeah.
Yes, and then you get a pair of crepe. You hear what I just said? It says sneakers. I said crepe.
Yes.
Crepe.
A butter you get it from or where?
Crepe. Yes, a pair of crepe.
Butter crepe.
And if you're lucky, you might get a pair of socks. If you're lucky and the money can stretch. And you'd wear that pair of crepe for the whole month of September, October, November, December. If it mash up before December done, remember say you got school barefoot. You didn't get a second one. There was no money to buy a second one. And if rain fall, you know what the rules were. You take that pair of crepe off, carry it in your hand and walk barefoot in the rain. You could not be seen going home and walking home in mud and water in your crepe. All right, so you know what's going to happen if that happens.
Yes.
So the rule was to take off your shoes and your crepe and carry it in your hand if rain fall. That was the rule. So that was the rule then.
Yes.
Teacher Ryan come late. Teacher Ryan come late.
Good morning, King Ryan. So I'm gonna go
beat you
to Sharon's in a minute, and then Jen will share her story. But let's just see who else we have watching with us. Good morning. Welcome to Satideh Mawnin Runnings. School are open. School are open. And everybody are planned to go back to school. And so we're reminiscing. We're going back in time. Whether short time, long time, it no matter. We're going back in time this morning. So let's see. I did ask everyone who is watching, you can type into the chat where you went to school from basic to tertiary, no matter. We'll take it. So morning, Brenda. See you, Brenda, where you went to school. I don't see you post that. So Gareth, hey, Gareth. Garrett says St. Peter and Paul Basic School, Providence Primary School, Crescent College High School, and Government of Jamaica Secretariat College. Sister Pinky. Oh, Sister Pinky from my church in Jamaica. Oh, Sister Pinky. See how much of them your school we recognize.
I know school. Sister Pinky, right?
St. Peter and Paul, Providence. But Crescent College, and I'm sure those were before,
names probably change now.
Probably rename.
College. Thanks, Sister Pinky. Okay, so Charlesy now. Charlesy says, come on to me, something, don't joke. Okay. All right. So Charles says, being from the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, my parents had to sell the yard fowl in order to buy our textbook. Oh,
yes.
Somebody had to be fattened up there for this.
Yes.
I tell you.
Boy. Don Robin, Andrew says Don Robin Primary, Don Robin High for a short time before going to Canada. So where school at Canada name Andrea? We need to name my school. Hello. So Charles says, me never had a school bag. It was my hands or plastic bag. And so we know that across the Caribbean, we are so linked, intertwined. Everything is very similar. We share similarities in a lot of things.
Yes.
Morning, Paulette, you share which school you go and so on, and some drama with you going back to school. Okay, no, all right. What Ryan said no? You know when Ryan writes is another language. Sometimes we know it's a derivative of. And we can't make it out.
Ryan,
somebody named Viola Charles said she went to Bayabo Methodist School. Where is Bayabo?
Yeah, that's Charles. So Jen, we have to go.
Oh, that's in St. Vincent.
We have to go. It's your first day I am going to have to speak to your mother. I don't know if you're having any hearing problems.
We're not going on no special class.
I just
special ed.
Nothing is wrong with special class, but I am definitely not going there.
Well, you know, because I just read that she's from St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Okay, I never hear that one.
So I went to
selective hearing.
Methodist. I hear you. All right. So welcome everybody. Brenda says she went to Hatfield Primary, Newbridge High in Manchester.
Manchester.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, all right. So, Max, you shared a little bit because we all have enough to share. All right. So let's jump on over to Sharon's. Sharon's, your story. And by the way, can I tell you that when I see some people, either they send me a note or I see them at church or something, they love you guys.
Oh, praise God.
Yeah, we love them back too.
Yeah,
we got your
to all of them.
Thank you for the support. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys.
Much appreciated. Yeah.
Then most Jackie, she a puppy show.
Yuna from church. Yuna love Sherns and Jen.
Thank you, Yuna. Thank you.
Hey, Yuna.
All right, Sharon. So you always bring some perspective to for your students.
Oh God. Well, for me, back to school was always good. It wasn't traumatic because usually I'm coming from Kingston, and so I would be outfitted very, very properly. In Mobile, my neighbor, she's still alive. She's in her 90s now. But she's a dressmaker, so she would make all my uniforms and everything. So I had no issues whatsoever with uniforms, my shoes, them, and socks. And so I always get from, as they say, foreign. My uncle, in two uncles I had in England, they would send parcel and stuff. So I always had multiple school shoes. My grandmother, my mother was always also making sure that I had really, at least two good solid pairs. So I changed a lot of school shoes. I did. I got a lot of shoes. And so I had no issues with that. What I always look forward to is the hairstyle. Because I had thick hair and, good head of hair, as they would say. And because my grandmother never used to give me the latest styles. Me always get some fat plait with the ribbon on the end. And that was before bubbles came in. Because when bubbles came in, it kind of changed the scenario with that, Mm-hmm. But I used to look forward to getting hairstyles because I couldn't get my hair permed or pressed. My grandmother would not stand for that. But cornrows, I used to get some very beautiful, intricate cornrow hairstyles from Kingston. And that was before you would add, like the braid hair in. So it was just my own hair. Mm-hmm. But I would go down back to Mobile Man, or should I say St. James, with a beautiful head up, very nice cornrow hair that I would take great pains into keeping so it would last for as long as I could. So that was one thing I look forward to. But I really had no issues with school supplies and bags and things of that nature. I really didn't. So I really thank God for that.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So now, Jax, what you have to tell us up in Free Hill, so now, because things are happening up in a Free Hill.
Yes, because right, Free Hill is country, right? Mm-hmm. And my grandmother was a dressmaker in the district. My mother was out working. She was trying to make life, and she didn't have much to send, or to outfit me with anything fancy. Mm-hmm. So my grandmother, being that she sewed, she and I would go to Brownstown to a store that they sell fabric. Was one of the few fabric stores that was in Brownstown, and the lady was Miss Corey. Never forget her name. And when we went to Miss Corey, she would pick up fabric and she'd buy a little extra. She'd buy the color. At the time, it was like cream color. And then she would mark out the foot, like Maxine said, mark out our foot. That's me and my brothers. and that now would be sent to mom. Sometimes the shoes come back a little bit tight, and then them no, she'd have to put the buckle in there and the what you call it, the aerated water buckle.
The D&G buckle.
The D&G buckle, and squeeze it around, squeeze it down in the shoes and put it down. And when you think that shoes stretch, it not stretch very much. Okay. But anyway, should sew the uniform. Sometimes I would end up going to school without shoes, but she used to boil coconut oil. Remember me tell you, say, your foot can shine like for me. Shine like $1 piece. Okay.
But Jackie, but when all of that on your foot, you have dust. When dust blew.
Yes,
everything.
And then the road wasn't asphalted, so therefore it was like marl and dig up road. So by the time you reach on school, you have to wash off your foot at the standpipe in the schoolyard.
That's like a whole lot to go on there.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. That's a lot.
We come from far, and then sometimes little money like them go market, and she get my grandfather plant a good piece of yam, and they make little money off of it. Me get a butter crepe. Yeah, and I take off the butter crepe, and she would sew the handbag. She would sew the bag. So if rain or fall, of course, we have to take off the shoes and put it in the bag and make sure it don't wet up the book, the exercise book with them cutting too.
Yes.
So we go to school.
So you never had.
That's one thing my mother used to be upset about. I remember I went to school and the teacher cut the book in two. My mother would periodically, because some kids, very few kids afforded a whole exercise book. The vast majority of them, they had to cut the book. But my mother was not into the cutting the book business.
Yes.
And whenever she would periodically come to Mobile to see me, every so many months. And when she came and she see me with half a book, she was very upset. She said, "What is this?" And me tell her, me say, the teacher cut the book in. She said, "No, tell her not cut your book in half. I send you a whole book. You must have your whole book." So I was one of the few children in the class who had a full book. Everybody book cut in half because siblings had to get the other half.
Yes.
Or you had to when the first half finished, then you turn to the other half. Yeah, but she was not into. I remember my teacher used to have me draw a line. Like if I wrote one page and half the other page, he would have me draw a line under the old work and start the new work under the other half of the page.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes,
I think she sent a letter or something in the bag and she said, "Don't cut the book." And one more thing she was upset about, you see how my name is spelled, Shernette. One teacher had somehow changed it up to Shurnet. And had me writing it like that. And man, my mother was upset.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Many parents would be
upset. Yeah.
May I also add that?
Sorry.
May I also add that I can remember using slate. I don't know if anybody remember using a slate.
I used that in basic school.
Basic school. I remember using a slate in basic school. And then when we left basic school, while we were going to basic school, they were in the process of building Free Hill All Age School, which is just up the road from Miss Titt, the lady named Miss Titt, the basic school teacher. She used to have the basic school at her house, and we used to use a slate. And by the time they finished building the school in 1975, I remember passing it, they were building it. And then when we started going to school there, grade 1, we were still using the slate. And then they gravitated to books.
Okay. Because yes, I remember the slate. As so again, I was raised in the earlier years of my life, up to age 7 in Kingston. And at one point when after my parents' marriage, fell apart, my mom had boarded out my sister and I. So we are talking about little children now. But the lady at that home, she had classes on her veranda because it's a big house. It's a big house with multiple rooms, which is why she was able to house us there. She was
Right.
licensed and all that. So she would have classes on her veranda. And I'm telling you, we were learning with that slate. She was
Yeah.
a marvel to us. She taught us, which we know as cursive, but we were learning how to form our letters.
Letters, yeah.
She would drill us, and we were just doing so well. When I got to penance and went into basic, because I got there in the December time, so it was a lot now to be shifting me around to find school for me.
Yes.
Right. And that was in the height of the Christmas holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So at first I went down to basic school and I was advanced. I was ahead of the children, at the
Yes.
basic school, to the point where I remember Miss Din, who was teaching down at the basic school and a member of the church, she started to like give me little work of my own on the side because I was ahead,
Yes.
and she didn't
You
want
were
she
way
was
ahead. You were way
yeah,
ahead.
she realized that, oh, but if I keep teaching her what she already knows, it can create a problem for a child who is
Exactly.
Yes.
advanced. So she used to
Advanced,
give me
yeah.
little work on the side, and that was my first experience of learning how to fry dumpling.
Of all the things.
Of all the things.
Because it is that section of that basic school is on the same property of the community center. So in a little corner, she used to just do little, like, for children who didn't have no breakfast and so on. That
She
was
makes
my early
dumpling.
experience of seeing a teacher really
Cook.
caring. If she saw that a child didn't eat or something, she would have her a little Dutch pot, something. I can't forget
That
it
was
in
nice.
the room
That was
Yes.
on
lovely.
a
Yeah.
little oil stove,
Yes.
So
and
you
she
did that
would
the omic.
uh,
Long time.
That omic
yes,
again.
and Miss
I used to
yes,
love that
Lady
class.
D,
yes,
the oil stove that had the round bottle at the end where them turn upside
where
down.
them turn upside
Yes.
down.
Upside down.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
Yes.
right.
man. Yeah, she used to just fry
Kerosene
little
oil. Kerosene
plantain and
oil.
what have you. And me did always, well, I was always them picnic with just like to learn and get into stuff. And so me start learn how to fry plantain. And she showed me how to knead flour and to fry dumpling. I'm telling you, it was amazing. So
Yeah.
as we are here talking, we can see where we're coming from. We can see our
Yeah.
pitfalls too,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
after a
Absolutely.
while, if you're not focused and some children don't have help, where you could have gotten to is delayed.
Yes.
Yes.
So
But
Mhm.
I
true.
wanted
Mhm.
So
I
true.
wanted to mention that it wasn't just the exercise book that they would cut into. Sometimes in some cases too, families that had a lot of kids going to school, they'd cut the pencil into.
Yes.
Yes.
Not
Mhm.
every kid got a whole pencil going
A
back to
whole
school.
pencil.
They'd cut it in
Yeah.
two, and then one person get the part with the rubber or the eraser, and the next part. So
And
there would be a fight for that too.
that is why
Yep.
when I'm in my class now and I see pencil on the floor, kids just wasting pencil, it irks me because I
Yeah.
remember those days when we didn't even have pencil. Like we struggle to get, sometimes we have to borrow another child's pencil, make him write, and then you write
And
after.
then you were
You
right.
know what I mean? Because so when I see them throwing down pencil in this America here, throwing down crayons, throwing down pencil on the floor, saying, "Oh, this pencil break, I'm gonna throw it in the garbage." Just say, put it in this bin here. So I have a
Yeah.
pencil with sharpen pencil and sharpen pencils. And I
Mhm.
sharpen them, I stay and sharpen the pencil to go use back this pencil. It's not going in the garbage.
Yeah.
So I
And
am
sometimes
very
the pencil will be down to this little piece.
yes.
The little piece.
I let
Sharp
them
like
use
that.
it
So you
till
still
the
have to
bone.
write
I
it.
let them use it to the. They say, Miss Douglas, why you do? We have so much
Mhm.
pencils. I said, no, you're gonna use that pencil that you have. Go back to your seat.
Very
Dark them figure sit down at them seat. Yeah,
That them
Yes.
forgot exactly.
But,
yeah,
but
but
before the going back to school, who anybody experience the washout?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
My grandmother would boil up senna
Herbs,
pot.
herbs, the herbs.
Herb,
Yeah.
yes.
Jesus.
The Indian root pill, yes. The senna pot, the
What?
senna
What
cut,
a
Yes,
and
memory
line
Lady
ma'am.
me
D
up.
just bring back right there, so. The
Yes, my
The
hundred
grandmother would
Indian
word.
line
root
up
pill,
because I
man.
live with my grandmother. So
Yes,
what she would do,
yes.
she would gather all my siblings, she'd boil a big pot of all this washout things, senna cut, senna pot, spirit, weed, whatever. She'd put everything combined in a big pot. And and all my siblings who live with my mother then, and my cousins who live in a different house. Everybody come to my grandmother here, and everybody line up and get a
Such
cup.
a pity they didn't know
And
that
then
some
she
of
had
the
a
worms
stick.
are
She had a
necessary.
stick, so you have to drink it. If you don't drink
Some
it,
of
you
the
get.
worms were very necessary. I used to pass out worms, not knowing that some of these worms have to stay in you. You
Well,
understand
them say
me?
them make
And
the
then they
worm.
used to make all worm dead out of you.
Well, I can say that the first time I got washed out and I saw one in the toilet bowl, I nearly passed out.
You're supposed to
I'm
stay.
wondering what is this thing coming out of me. Of course, they're not explain nothing to you. Even if they
Yeah,
No,
use the
you just
term.
like you wash out.
I
When you look,
saw
you listen
one.
to you, because we never have no toilet bowl to see nothing.
Oh,
So when you know what come out of it.
It was the chimney. We didn't have chimney. So we didn't have to
that's
use
what
the
you're
chimney
born into.
because grandma wanted to see it. So we had to use the chimney.
Okay.
oh dear.
Yeah, so I guess it's my turn now.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I I have a story to say, but I remember the first day I went to school. My first school was a basic school, a Christian basic school. Then I went to St. George's Girls' School. Then I went to Alpha Primary School. So they split that school and they call it Jesse Paul and Alpha Primary after. Then I went to Holy Trinity Secondary School. It's now Holy Trinity High. But I remember one time when I was little bit. Yes, I was little one time, and I decided that I want to look different
No,
to go
sir.
back to school. So my mother had some razor blade in her drawer, and I
Yeah.
decided to shave off the whole of my eyebrows because I wanted to look different. And up
What?
till today, if you notice, my eyebrow never came back. I have to be penciling it. I
Oh,
shaved
that's
off
why?
all the eyebrows. And I was everybody look and say, "Oh, Jennifer looks so different." No, no, sir, the eyebrow shave off. Shave, me get a piece of beat me, you see. Shave off my eyebrow. But anyway, I went to school. I was in Kingston, so everything was bought for us. Like we had shoes, but I remember the experience of taking off the shoes when the heavy rain fall. So I remember that. But we always have shoes. Our shoes lasted, and we would get another shoes the next term, like the school term. After Christmas, we'll get another shoes. If, as Maxine was saying, if the shoes continue looking good, then you'll wear it. But if it don't look so right, my mother made sure our uniform. I think she made most of our uniform, and so forth. And then I never had a problem with exercise book, pencils. I remember going to liquor teacher school. Liquor teacher, I beg you ring your bell. That's when I used slate. Okay, and little teacher used to tie her books and her slate with a belt, and she would walk and pick up every child in the community and bring them to school.
Oh,
But
wow.
I remember little teacher, our shoes, them she walk on those shoes until it was lean. She went and pick up that dedication. Those dedicated teachers were never recognized, but they were dedicated teachers. And I think that's where I learned my dedication from, because where I'm teaching now, they said I'm very strict. It's not that I'm strict to abuse children. I'm strict to get them structured, also to learn, because if children are all over the place in the classroom, they will not learn as effective. The learning will not be effective. So I am known as one of the strict. And then if I walk, sometimes I walk with a cane, and if they hear the cane going bong bong, everybody just run and go sit down. That was what the respect the teacher used to get
Yes.
when, that,
True.
and that is what I instill. And I'm in America now, and as they hear the stick going bong, 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 everybody run. High schoolers, middle schoolers, everybody. Miss Douglas is coming. And I don't say nothing to them, and I just walk in the class and I sit down and everybody is quiet.
Yes. That's
Sometimes
respect.
I have to repeat myself and say, stop, stop, stop. But eventually, if they don't stop, I just start piling up the work on them. And they're so structured to know that they have to keep quiet when doing their work.
So, Jen, you're one of those teachers who will send children home with multiple homework and they can't get no breather.
Yes, I'm not, like I said, because homework for me is lesson being taught before. So when they go home with their homework, it's not, I usually do a lot of reading. So when they go home, they have things to read. And I also do, if I'm teaching math, say I'm teaching 2-digit addition, I will give them work to go home and do in whatever work we did. Some teachers just give homework like that. No, I give structured work. So if the work is being taught today, they did an exercise, a worksheet today, I'm giving them back maybe the same worksheet to practice or something in that relation. But I'm not going to give them just homework. But when they're in the classroom, I don't stop work. So if they finish language, they finish phonics, they're going to reading. And sometimes when the others are doing their work, I will call the child who I know have problem reading, and she's right at my side at my desk. This little girl, I don't have much kids in my class, but this little girl would love to come to the desk with me. And then all she's doing is rubbing my, Miss Douglas, you're so soft. You're so soft. But sometimes them are sometimes. Make sure rub the pattern. And I show them love with the strictness, with the structuring. I show them love.
That's a good balance. That's a very good balance.
Absolutely.
And
we call them teachers.
This little girl in my class that just started in Florida, we start school already. This little girl in my class, everybody had her as the worst person. When I came there, the one man said, "You're not gonna get chief for doing no work, you know. She always sit down outside and do her own thing. She's gonna take over your class." I said, "Really? No. That girl is one of the best little girl in my class right now. They have to be peeping through my door. What do I do to get her so structured?" The little girl sit. All I do is just be consistent. I say, sit down, you have to sit. Why I have to sit? I say, you have to sit. And I do that for almost the whole week. Right now, if she come in, everybody just getting themselves prepared, and they're all seated doing bell work. So from the end of, they usually come in early in my classroom. They usually come in early. They don't want to come early. They wait till 8:30 to come inside, because the school start 8:30. Because they know once they come in, work is there for them. They start working. But nobody come to my class early anymore. They say, "Miss Douglas is there." As they reach the door, Miss Douglas is in the classroom. They see the head them are peeping. All right, and they walk in and they sit down and they pack out all they need to pack out, and they sit, and the bags are my classroom. And if a sharpener dust on there, them have to clean it up.
All right. So here, let's hop on over now. Good morning again, everyone. We have not forgotten you. Morning, Council Member King. How are you? Nice of you to be here with us.
Welcome, Mr.
Yes. All right.
Council Member King.
Andy.
Andy King?
Andy, yeah. Oh. Andy. Hi, Andy.
Okay. So
hi, Council Member King.
So Brenda says, I always had a plastic bag to put my shoe in when it rained. All right. Then Andrea, the same thing. You said you put a buckle into the shoes for it to stretch. But we know that sometimes even buckle don't work. If your foot it just never fit the shoe. Yeah. And sometimes your parents wouldn't want to carry back the shoe, so they say your foot have to fit in it. And you know, sometimes end up with their feet disfigured.
Listen, you eye blind, and say you go blind.
My grandmother would get stuff from England.
Right.
I go blind. Sometimes my grandmother would get stuff from England, or her sisters in England would send stuff. So they don't really know how, or size. So them just send shoes. Them kind of
And
shoes are
Indian
too.
size is
And
different from American and Jamaican size.
But you know
listen to
what
me.
used to save me with shoes from England is that I have a cousin. She's my age. Her and I were
Okay.
the same age, and they used to measure, stuff for me based off of her. And I remember once, but this when I was in high school. I was in like maybe fourth form at the time, and now you're wearing, like really, the shoes were not. They were on the cusp of being dressy shoes,
Right.
as opposed to being just, the regular school shoes. And my history teacher and I ended up in the same pair of shoes.
Mm.
And
My
might
God.
I say that she was not amused.
No, sir.
Oh,
You're too,
no.
Mm-hmm.
you're too
She was
trendy.
not. It was a gorgeous pair of shoes. No, it was a wedge. It was a wedge heel shoe, and it had part leather and part suede. Very attractive. It had no lace. Yeah, like a fancy buckle on the top. It was a grown-up kind of shoe, but that's the shoe I
Yes.
got for fourth form.
Very
That's what
And
you
my
trendy.
could
history
do.
teacher, Miss Young, was not amused when I came in the class and me and she are sitting on the same seat.
I'm wondering if everybody had the same. I'm wondering if everybody had the same feeling when the day before school, before you go to school, you can't sleep the whole night.
Yes.
Because the
Yes.
You
new,
get
especially when
anxious.
you get new thing,
You get
anxiety
anxious.
take over. Me say
Yeah.
remember every time I go bathroom, me turn on the light and look on the uniform, the shoes, the socks. Every
Yes,
time
yes,
me look at me go in
yes,
my school bag
yes.
and I look at my school bag
Mm-hmm.
and me I look and me go back go sleep and wake up again. Me go look on the shoes, me go look on the skirt. And the anxiety take over.
Yes. But can I tell you though
That is
that
so true.
that
But
happened
we
that
never have no
happened
light.
that happened to me. My mother had suited me out for school. I think I'd shared about the shoes, how the shoes rub off my heel back the first day when I
Oh,
went to
gee,
Veer.
that was a hot time.
When I
Oh
went
my
to Veer,
gosh.
though I knew a few persons who were going there, so at least that was okay. But that first day for me was a mess. The shoe was too, as we said, too deep,
Mm-hmm.
and so my feet needed to be elevated a little. And you know what we do? We cut out foot in a cardboard, and
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
it come up, right?
Right.
And that day, fine, meet the children, meet with form teacher, one Indian man. Remember, there were a lot of Indians in our school system one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There were
Mm-hmm.
quite
Indians
a
are
few.
always traveling.
Yeah, there were quite a few at Veer. And so, we mark we name man and said where we're going to go to class. And I tell you that I saw where the students were heading. I saw them go in the classroom. I went and I said, okay, they go. But I had my backpack with me because it was a green backpack to match my uniform. So it's not like
You
I could
did.
go. So I went to the girls' restroom. And for the life of me, one, I went because I wanted to see if I could get piece of tissue to kind of ease the discomfort.
Oh
Can the
God.
heel or rub off
I
the back
feel
of
it
the
for
heel
you.
Oh my
right
I
God.
here.
feel it for you.
It a blister
I
up.
feel it.
It was
Oh.
Nothing
a
hurts
nice
so.
brown, because we wore
Hmm.
brown shoes and brown socks. It was a nice brown
Mm-hmm.
shoe with a kind of cheese
Yeah, I used to
bottom.
wear brown shoes, brown socks
Nice,
sometimes.
Oh,
nice
your cheese butter. Remember
cheese
cheese bottom
bottom.
shoes?
It was
Yes.
Yes.
a nice pair of shoe though. But may I tell you, said, and the socks was thin, so there was no support to the
Oh,
bottom,
Mm-hmm.
the heel
Mm-hmm.
back. So I went to go get tissue to put in the socks to help. When so me I take time walk now, because we can't walk fast.
You
So
Mm-hmm.
got
when we
you.
come back out now, second time being on that complex, the first time when I went for registration, know the place yet. Me come out, I'm like, where do I go again? When me did a walk a while ago, me can't, me directional is
You lose the
Completely
confused,
bearing.
disoriented.
me disoriented. Then me I come from penance. Me not dark, but me feel like me need to find me class myself. So I didn't ask
Actually sitting
anyone
upon her.
where is it was vocational too, because then we come up with this a system in Veer. You had vocational two, then you have 2B1, 2B, all kind of strange grading. Anyway, when me I walk on, me I look to see if me can recognize anyone. It's like me can't recognize nobody the whole
She
time me I
blind.
walk around. Me
She was
can't
blind,
find.
her.
Listen to me now, man. I'm in pain. I walk around. I
Oh,
walk.
poor thing.
Can't find
She
the
was
class.
blind.
Traumatic.
Couldn't find the class. I'm walking, looking. I didn't even see the teacher, one Indian man who taught us bio.
Oh my
You know,
goodness.
what I had done though. After much stress, I didn't even go up to the principal's office. I didn't go to no teacher. I didn't ask nobody. I just went through the gate.
Let's
Good
go.
on you.
Let's
I
go.
left the compound.
But
Guard,
pride nearly kill you, you know. Because
ah,
you should take off the shoes and go along.
or just ask somebody for direction.
Mm-mm.
Just go through the school gate. This minute, guard see me, the man don't even ask me where me going. They had murdered him a few years later. We had a guard house right there. And it's not like he wasn't in it. I don't know if he just wasn't paying attention. I went through the gate, stood up at the gate, a van come, me jump in it, head to Maypen. And when
Yeah.
Auntie Paula office, she was working at Jamaica National. Me go down there, me tell her me shoes, rub off me heel back, and me just sit down there and wait until we go home. A penance. That was my first day.
Wow.
God. Oh, no.
I just want to mention that I didn't mention today is my son's birthday. He's 33 years old today. My only
Oh, happy
child.
birthday.
My
Oh,
only
Happy
child.
birthday,
Some of them
son.
good to you. No matter what you go through with them, I just keep me still. You have to love them. You understand me?
Happy
So,
birthday
Yeah, my
from us.
son's
to
birthday was on
Ramon, big up,
Wednesday.
yeah.
yes.
Ramon,
And my
yeah.
son's
Happy
birthday was on the
birthday, Ramon.
31st.
Oh, happy belated. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Krista's
Oh,
birthday was on the
All around
31st.
here. All right, so Paul, let's hop on over. Paulette says, went to Sister Walter's little school at Delphi All Age, Somerton All Age, and Montego Bay Secondary, aka Senior
Oh, wow.
School, now St. James High.
Hey, Paulette. I know all those schools.
There you go.
Okay.
Andrea says, I didn't go to the toilet enough for my dad and all. Him saying is I took too tough or something. Washout was oh dear. So what she's saying is that even though she get the washout, she wouldn't get a movement.
Yes.
So her father tell her too tough. Washout was herb or herb with cerasee and coconut or Epsom salt.
All of the above and more.
No, we realize that all you have to eat is some fruits. Some of
I
the
used
fruits,
to vomit from
and then you will go freely. You understand?
Sister
When
Hey.
Brian him said, now, wow, me coming at your class, me I come over tomorrow. Me don't know whose class
Oh, that was when Jennifer was talking about the kids.
Okay, Garrett says, I would throw the
All right,
herb in my
Brian, you're
place
welcome.
at the floor, boarding, and every now and then I would run to the toilet pretending that my belly was operating.
In a road trip.
Oh, yeah, that was one way to say it. When you have when you have the runs, you know, when they whatever, whether it was Brooklocks or Senna Pad
Yeah,
or
man.
whatever they gave you,
Mhm.
they would say you start up operation yet.
Yes. You know your operation.
We're looking forward for it for you to come to go.
But the thing
to
is,
go
they
to
would
the
stand
bar.
up and watch us drink it. Apparently, they didn't stand up and watch him drink it, so he could throw it in the floorboard.
Yeah,
We couldn't
yeah.
throw it on no
That's what we
floorboard.
said.
Oh, dear Lord. You see your picnic, Sam Fi.
What?
No,
But
no,
you know, as opposed to what occurred back in our time, it's completely different now, you know. We're getting children to school because last week actually I attended my oldest grandson's first day of school, and I'm telling you, now they have family interviews. They interviewed, you know, me, him, and the interview was a good 45 minutes.
Oh.
What was that for?
The questions because they want to know the family dynamic,
Yes.
what
Makes
makes the
sense.
child tick, how does the family react certain ways. And when you're meeting together with a social worker ahead of, or at the beginning of the term, and then they have you sign up for this, maybe Jennifer, you might know this class dojo,
Yeah, class dojo, yeah.
dojo, yeah, and with
It's a
that,
point system, yeah.
yeah, you can track your child all throughout the year. And what I
Yeah.
like is that they post pictures. So if he's in a class
I
participating
supposed to post a
or
picture with my kids
otherwise,
this week.
what's that, Jen?
I'm supposed to post a picture on Dojo from last week, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
try.
they post pictures and you can
Yeah.
applaud your child and so on. And in order, I guess, as an incentive to the parents participating, they give points to the children, and the more points they get, they can now turn
Okay,
those points in for very, very good prices.
okay.
They can
So
get,
one of my downfall with that, and because I'm from the old school, I know parents is good to relate and to intertwine with your child's education and stuff, but I think America give parents too much leeway with classroom activity, and it loses because I remember a child, the mother coming, I don't want her in my class, and right in front start to curse the teacher, curse me because of an incident, right? America give too much leeway to the parents, having too much to, teachers are teachers, parents are parents. Yes, we have parents teacher conference. That's the time when you vote
Your
and
grows, your
stuff.
group,
But
yeah,
when
your
you
girls
start
and
to
stuff.
let them too involve, then they start to the children are very smart and they're like sponge. They pick up a lot of stuff. So when you start to talk things, and then the parents start to make their comment, the kids them looking in their mouth and eyes. When they come, they have no respect for the teachers. I
True.
think teachers need to know their limit and parents need to know their limit. You understand
Boundaries.
me? I don't believe too much in no dojo business. I don't get involved in it. I feel like whatever I do, that's what I do. If your child is learning, your child is learning. You don't need to get more involved and let do their homework. Read it. Most of those parents don't read to these kids at nights. They don't do nothing with them at nights. And that still they want to get involved in the school system. No, there should be a
Okay.
cutoff. America spoil our children.
Can I share something here quickly, ladies? And this is
Yeah.
something that happened this week. I really need to put this out there because whoever's going to be watching this program needs to understand and know this. This Thursday, I'm home in my house, Norman and I. Norman is on his phone. I'm in the kitchen. Norman calls me and said somebody's at the door. I opened my door and there was a 5-year-old standing in front of my door about to cry that she's lost. School dropped her off on my street.
Oh.
The school driver asked her, the bus driver asked her, is this where you live? Said yes, she's only 5 years old. He dropped her, because it's a female driver, I understand, in the long run. Dropped her off and drove off. No adult was there to pick up the child, but she just dropped the kid off. The kid was
Oh,
at my
dear.
door almost in tears, lost. She didn't know her mother's name. Well, she knew her mother's first name. She didn't know the name of the school that she attends. When I asked her what school you attend, she said kindergarten. She don't know the actual name of the school. There's nothing in her bag with her parents' number or name or anything, so you can identify or call somebody. I was confused, and she was at the point of tears, and it was hot outside like crazy. This is this Thursday. This happened Thursday, the last Thursday. So I had to take her into my house, and I gave her some juice. I said, "You wanted water, juice?" She said, "Juice." I gave her some juice. I gave her crackers. And then I had to call 911 because I didn't know what else to do. So I called 911 and I told him the situation, and they sent 2 cops over. A white cop and a black cop, 2 separate cars, of course. And when they came, I explained to them what had happened. And then they opened up her pocket or book bag to see if there was any identification in there of parents or name of the school. And there was nothing, no form of contact for parents nor school. But on her bag, she had her name and the number of the bus. So the black cop had to get on his phone and call transportation for school, and then that was how we got the connection of the name of the school and the teacher's name and everything, and got the parents' name, and eventually got the address of the kid. Only to find that the kid
the bus driver in a trouble, you know.
That and when so after all of this happened, and the cop drove her to her house. Norman and I went for a walk, and we got the address of where she lived, and I went and rang the doorbell, and the father and grandmother came out, and I spoke to them. I said, "You need to put some form of identification in the kid's bag."
Yes.
And you know what the father said to me? This is the third time it happened. Third time the kid got lost. What if it was a different neighborhood or a different set of people? I could have been a bad person. That kid could have been kidnapped, taken away, and then never see
Yes.
her again.
Yeah,
So-
that's
I would
scary.
not let it happen. The second, as a parent, those are the things the parents need to be conscious of.
Yes.
Yeah.
The kid, yes, they want to
But
get
then-
involved in school. Oh, you talk bad to my kid. Oh, you did it, you know, but they don't pay attention to the homely. This the home is also educational institution. They need to focus what is happening in their home. And then
But I can understand. What I don't understand
So,
is if this
how
happened
could
twice,
Mhm.
why would it happen the third time?
But
That's
how
what I'm
could
saying.
the bus driver? The bus driver is supposed to know the addresses of where
That's what
you are
I'm
That's
sending
what I'm
Exactly.
children.
Exactly.
You know what is
Can you-
happening? A lot of they do have substitute drivers too. Substitute drivers, like sometimes the driver is the real driver is not there. They have a substitute driver, and sometimes the substitute don't know where the child is supposed to drop off. So
Well,
it's
well,
that.
my
Yeah, but
advice-
also you
Yeah,
can't
but they usually have a list.
without a grown up.
But my advice to the public is put your name
Yes.
and your phone number in your kid's bag.
Mhm.
Tape it
Mhm.
somewhere just in case. Teach your kid your name, your full name. That's why you choose my name Mary. Mary what?
Mhm.
Mary who?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yes,
there's
sometimes they don't
there's a
know.
reason why a lot of parents don't put the kids' information in their bag because it might go in the wrong hand. So what they need to do is teach a child. That's what I'm telling you. The parents are involved in the wrong thing. Teach a child name, address, and
Your
everything.
parents'
You
name,
understand the
everything.
parents and everything.
Mhm.
I asked a child, what's your parents' name? I don't know. You understand
When
me?
I
So
asked the kid only knew the first name.
they need
When
to
I asked
focus
her what
on
his
what
mother's
they
name,
need
she only
in
knew
the
the
home.
first
Read
name.
with
My
the
nieces
children.
are 5 as well, and we ask them, every now and again to repeat their address, their
Yes.
full names, and our numbers.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
So they know.
Some parents have no time to teach their kid those simple
One
things.
child had an allergic reaction at my school, and I said, I didn't have anybody else but myself, and the child was in my lap because the allergic reaction with grass. We took her out to play, and the grass, allergic.
Yes.
So all I said, what's your mom's number? She told me the number, and I called the mom. You understand me? That was good. You understand me? Because I couldn't. It was an emergency, and you can't grab a thing
Yes.
in the drawer or the filing cabinet. So you have to sometimes just have them learn it. So parents need to pay attention to
But,
homely things and let the
but
teachers
Maxine,
take care of the school.
Another thing, even though and Jen, even though they might be substitute drivers, all of these buses that the children are going on, they usually have a list with their names
Of course.
and their addresses and the parent name.
Because
So
sometimes
something
the
went wrong
drop-off
at
point
the
is not their home. Sometimes the drop-off point is like at a corner. So you know,
Right.
sometimes
Yes.
at a special
And
But
that's
there's
what
a
happened with her.
contact
She got dropped
person.
off at the
their
corner.
home.
There's a contact person, the driver or the assistant can
I
call
think
and say,
the child missed their corner. I think the child supposed to come
yeah,
off.
but that's
with
a
certain
5-year-old.
things.
That's a
But
5-year-old
let me tell
child.
you, it's
Oh, some of the
it's
houses
two
look
different things.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
But-
houses look alike and all.
Georgia will do that to you.
Yeah,
Georgia.
Houses are-
Yeah. You're cutting out, Jen. I mean,
they look
Max.
alike.
Yeah.
It's Max.
Drop her off. And there was no adult out there to collect her. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
You know?
It's a
Well,
system.
Poor
It's
child was
system.
so
It's
traumatized.
system.
Yeah.
But thank God
Well,
it was
we're
just
wrapping
fair.
up soon, but remember the days of your geometry set.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Reset, yes.
I don't know what half of them is
you're
used
right.
for, so I just get one because I get one.
That's
But
how
I
you
don't
must
know
get
what
one.
half of them. I know the ruler and the pencil and the sharpener. That's about it.
Fold the leaf. You remember fold the leaf?
Folder leaf, yeah.
I
Fold the
would
leaf.
take
But
I
you too.
said to the students, take out your folder leaf. They said, what is that?
Yes. Now I'm to me here. They ask me, what is that? Oh, you mean loose leaf paper?
Yes,
They don't
yes.
even know what we are talking about
Yeah.
half of the time.
Oh, now
And
back to the days. The
students
student
Students
companion.
companion.
companion. Oh
Yeah,
my
teach a
I
lot
was
God.
of
trying to
English.
find the first aid in English, but that I don't know where. I couldn't
Ready
find.
year one,
Yes.
term one,
Yeah,
aid.
Ready?
Remember
I
ready?
remember that
Couldn't
one.
find
Mm-hmm.
couldn't find first aid in English at all. Don't know why.
Oh my God.
But so we talk about the washout, we talk about going back to school, the preparation. There were an
School
accidents
lunch.
at school. Remember, there were children who, if they drank too much milk powder or eat too much bolo slush, something happened.
Happened to
There-
me.
Yes.
Yeah, people had accidents at school. They not reach the toilet fast enough.
Thank
All
God I was
kinds of
living
stuff.
nearby to school. So while I
Ah.
was walking, everybody said, "Oh, smell so."
Mhm. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
children had accidents at school. Or, there were when we as the girls are maturing, growing up and cycle begins. And if nobody never
Mm-hmm.
teach
Oh
you,
my God, that was an episode. I thought I
then
was dying.
I
you
thought
have
I
the
thought I was,
boys in the
I thought
class.
I was bleeding to death.
Yeah.
recess
That's
time.
it.
I remember recess time. We're outside playing dandy shandy, and you have the big girls playing dandy shandy and sighting and them something, and the little pitty them like me. No, and the first time I see, you remember SafeX?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
We have the string come up and
Oh,
tie around the waist or something. Listen, I see this girl kick up her foot for sight the ball and her uniform just blow up so.
oh,
And the
Jesus.
SafeX was exposed.
Oh,
That
dear.
was the
Wow.
first. That was the
I
first
think
time
that's why
I
they
was like
instill bloomers
I
traumatized
in the
had,
because I've
house.
never seen something like string tied
oh,
around our waist
God.
so you can't see the whole thing. But it was when I grew up, when I got older, I realized what it
What
was.
it was, yeah.
With
So
the string around the waist.
and that secured kind of garter thing was now that is where the adhesive replaced
Comes,
that,
yes, replace it,
Yes.
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where it was able you layer it on the seat of the underwear so that it sticks.
Mm-hmm.
But that
Right.
was before that came into play. And I guess she wasn't wearing any bloomers.
Yeah, the bloomers. I think
No,
we
Mm-hmm.
met them when all of
it
that
70s,
look like
happened.
70s,
regular
so.
panty.
I
It
wear
look like
bloomers.
Yeah,
regular panty, but they see the something. I don't know what she do, but the
yeah.
string, me see the string thing come up and something tie around her waist. And you
You
see I'm
wonder
still
what?
like a picnic. I never
Yeah.
forget that. The time
Yes, and then you had it, with the boys too. Sometimes when they went to the tailor, because we're wrapping up in a few minutes, when they go to tailor, it's like the tailor take the wrong measurement. When the boy get back the pants,
Size
a
up.
speng all the way up above the
yes.
ankle kind of thing. The pants just not made right.
I
And
want
sometimes,
that pants.
there is nothing they can do because a lot of times they go when you get the money. So, sometimes it's day before they're picking up uniform from
Yeah,
school.
so you can't fix
The
it.
And
damage control. Oh, Lord.
who remember those people used to come to school with them arm green
Yeah, they never had no deodorant.
and the khaki sweat
Yes.
mark out the hole of the khaki. And you can
The,
see days are like that.
my
This
my
day
mother
sweat
used to buy me
dry.
something stick. Anybody remember something
Something
stick?
stick.
Something
I
stick.
must remember something stick. You know something stick?
Something stick. And
Yeah, I remember
dryad.
something stick.
Something stick
Yes,
Dryad.
and
Yes.
dryad.
yes.
Yes.
Oh, my Lord. But there was a boy in our community who, from we know him, he always had a very pungent scent.
Oh,
No matter
And
he
it
would
cool
go to
down.
river, no matter what.
mm,
I'm telling you, you could smell him. Still live down the road from me. Smell him afar off. Everybody
But
knew.
my,
you know
my,
when
my.
they say when boys are baby, you have to squeeze the milk out of their breast. When they're babies, and if you don't do that, they get a strong odor when they
Yes,
become
me hear
adults.
that, but
Oh,
we don't
really?
know how true
Yes,
that
that's
is.
what I was
Yes.
told. They say
Yeah.
Oh,
because when
You have to
babies are born,
squeeze.
boys they have milk in their breast. You have to squeeze it out, and if you don't, they get that
mm.
odor when they become adult. That's what me and my
Oh,
grandmother
man.
said. We
And
don't
I'm
know.
Yeah, we used to have that man. He would knock
Yeah.
us out. I'm telling you.
And what about the lady who used to sell at school, can sell gizzard and drops and flan flan
Yeah.
and
Oh,
me.
yeah.
mango
I'm
and
selling
mango and
Okay,
juice.
so
So,
I just want to say something before you close off that and I see that you were going to touch on that topic too about children being left behind, like in grades and stuff. I am not in for that because I feel like if a child can read or do certain things, what they need to do is produce extra help in the classroom. So if a child they maybe they're strong. Every child have their strong suit. Some can do math, some can read, some can so you have people to help them in the classroom if they are doing that work and they're not able to read properly, and then you can help them through and guide them through. Teachers are not dedicated as before, like how I would call a
Build
child
on
to
their
my desk
strength.
and read with that child. I wouldn't say that child should be left behind because they're not reading like Johnny, but work with them a little extra that they can catch up. So I don't believe in leaving a child behind, because what it does, it makes the child self-esteem goes down, because that child is now with grade levels that is not their grade level, and it's a form of like an embarrassing situation for them. So these are the things that cause sometimes mental health and these things. So they need to look deeper into having the child. I think in America they're doing this thing, no child left behind.
Yeah.
So I think they are moving the kids up. They're moving them. They're not letting them stay in the grade that they feel like they're functioning at, but they get that extra help. I used to go, I was slow in math, and I used to move on in Jamaica, but they gave me extra help in mastermind math, like a special group. And then I would, that would help me to move on with the other grade. But I don't believe in the child leaving behind because of education, because every child functions differently.
Yes.
I may say something I found very interesting when I was doing sociology recently in class. The professor showed us a video, and we were having this discussion about where we are in our education system. And I don't remember if it was Finland or one of those countries, but they are the top nation in the world when it comes on to education. And the onus is on the teacher. You begin with the teacher that you begin with in what we'd call basic school. It's the same teacher that would take you right up to college. They don't change the teacher, and they don't give homework. Everything is done in the classroom. It is just, and they don't have multiple choice when they're doing their exams.
I don't believe in multiple choice either.
I
don't believe in it.
It's in the class, but everything is done in the classroom, and it's reinforced like the following day. The teacher is the one who they grill. The teacher has to pass a certain exam every year in order to stay in the system and stay with those students. So if you start, if you have 10 students, start with this teacher from basic school, that teacher goes with them right up to college.
Isn't that something?
And
it is working for them.
It's working, and they're the top in the world.
Oh, wow, amazing. But as in keeping with that, in Jamaica now, they are very concerned about the system, because as we know from headlines, teachers are leaving. They're leaving because they are not paid enough. They're leaving because the interaction with the students have become very aggressive. Teachers are fighting students, and that kind of scenario. And then teachers just want to move on to something else. So now they are addressing that. The Minister of Education, Favour Williams, along with the Jamaica Teachers Association presidents and all the people in that faculty, they have been having some hard discussions with themselves, between themselves, to see what needs to be done.
Massive
and they're also now thinking of how to bring those students up. To bring them up. But you do have children who you really can't move on. They can't read. It's almost like their cognitive ability is dwarfed.
Teaching
so
is
you
a
can't
gift.
take them into a class. You can't move them into a grade level that they cannot function in. If you can't read right, if you can't write right, then how you gonna be able to?
But the child is not gonna write right or read right if they don't have somebody who is gifted to do the work. And that's where I'm available. Private lesson, tutoring, get extra help as parents. Come on, the child can do it. I have seen kids who never read before. They are reading now because of extra help. That's where parents need to
The
focus
parents have to make
on
that
taking that
commitment.
extra help and leave school business alone in terms of getting involved, fighting teacher because your people never this or that. Come on, you do your work. Do your work
Right.
with your child. Get that extra tutoring help. Get that extra help. Pay the money.
Yeah, and begins with lay a good foundation at home. Stop cursing at the children them and talking big people business in front of them. Instead of just take it. It doesn't take 10 minutes to just take their books.
Home is an educational institution too.
10 minutes. Take their books and look at what they did for the day and just have them repeat their words.
You guys, I'm out.
All right.
Be safe and have a nice week.
Blessings.
Okay, blessings.
Okay, Jen.
Okay, so we're wrapping up, guys. But yes, we had a
teacher, school
conversation. So I'm gonna close out. We want to thank all those who participated with us this morning, and you may have children, that you're preparing to go back to school, or for some schools here, they're already back in school.
Yes.
In the US, that is, schools are already open, and for Jamaica, they're making their transition from that great holiday over school paper bun
Wash out this weekend.
Wash out this weekend. boy. And so, I just want to share a little tune before we go, because that's what we do.
Yes.
So here we go.
Teacher,
all right.
Ring the bell. Teach children, teach them how to spell. R-A-T rat, M-A-T mat, C-A-T cat. Look at that. You got to learn that. Yeah! You got to graduate before you go to the grade. Ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling. I hear the children sing. Hear the children sing. Ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling. Yeah! Some sitting on the bench. Some speaking French. Some talking sense. Oh! Teacher. I beg you ring the bell. Teach your children. Teach them how to spell. R-A-T rat. M-A-T mat. C-A-T cat.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Oh yeah. Some sitting on the bench.
Some talking
French. Some talking sense. Look at that. Hit it. Yeah. Got to learn this. M-A-T man. R-A-T rat. C-A-T cat. S-A-T cat. Look at that. Look at that. Got to learn that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Just had to nice it up and leave it right there.
Yeah,
So
I
tell you, the vinyl rub it a screech.
Yes.
But we want to say thanks to everyone, ladies, as always. We bless up each other and looking forward for a good week. Monday is Labor Day, so most people don't work. But if you do go to work, be productive, and God bless and keep us.
I got a little day.
You get a little day, Jack. No mind, your brain soon warm.
Lord, me pass my exam loan a ramp.
That's good. Nice.
Wonderful.
Congrats. Thanks to our audience for joining us as always. School are open. Blessings, everyone. Thanks, Jack.
Bye-bye. It's always fun, right?
Lot of love to you. Yeah. All right. Me go warm up. All right, ma'am. Blessings.
All right. Blessings.
Bye.
Bye.